Hello everyone, welcome back to Pathfinders. I'm Owen Wine, and today we're finishing up our theme, Egypt and Babylon, in this video. As we mentioned in our previous videos, we all work and live in Babylon according to the Bible. From the first humans to the ones that will be the very last humans, we all exist in Babylon. Now, we don't literally live in Babylon. The ancient nation of Babylon doesn't exist anymore. While it's true, the Bible views Babylon as a symbol for any human organization, institution throughout history that requires people to submit to its wrong definitions of what's good and what's evil. If we all live and work in Babylon, the immediate question is, what do we do? How are we supposed to live, and what's the right response to Babylon and its ideas? To answer this question, let's go back in history to Babylon itself, when the Jews were first taken to Babylon in the 500s BC. When the Jews were exiled to Babylon, they had a few different responses. Some Jews accepted their new Babylonian home. They took on Babylonian names, clothing styles, and even religious customs. Others hated Babylon and everything it stood for and revolted against it every chance they had, both physically and verbally. But in the book of Daniel, Daniel and his friends had a third different response. Just like the rest of the Jews, they were taken to Babylon, exiled there, given new names and clothing styles. Daniel and his friends specifically, though, were even commanded to work in the very court of the king of Babylon. Now, as members of the king's court, Daniel and his friends could compromise and enjoy all Babylon had to offer. Or they could keep working for the king, but they could revolt and take him on out through the inside, assassinating him. But instead of doing either, they instead humbly sought Babylon's well-being, interceding on its behalf to God. Daniel and his friends worked for Babylon, but when the king of Babylon commanded that everyone would worship a false god, now that's when Daniel and his friends did not submit. Despite seeking Babylon's well-being, when it really came down to it, their true devotion was to God. This caused them to critique Babylon and its idolatrous redefinitions of good and evil. Despite being very high up in Babylonian society, Daniel and his friends would have to pay for their commitment to their God with their lives. When Jesus was on the scene, the Babylon of his day was Rome. Some of the Jews in Rome accepted it and took on its clothing styles, names, and gods. Now, other Jews hated Rome and revolted against it in both verbal and physical ways. But see how Jesus takes on the response of Daniel and his friends. Jesus would say things like, sure, you can pay your taxes to Caesar, give him back his coins, but don't treat him as a god. The true God is the one that deserves your whole life and devotion. Yet still, Jesus would critique the idolatry of Rome and its leaders, ultimately costing him his life. The story of both Daniel and Jesus shows us the right response to the Babylon we all live in. According to the Bible, we all live in a Babylon of our own making. But the question is, how will you respond? Will you buy into Babylon and all it has to offer? Will you instead revolt against it every way you can? Or will you act like Daniel and Jesus and seek Babylon's well-being while still staying true to the true ruler of the world?